No,
Oh, that's a shame.
it is a shame, but if it's recorded, you know, we want to encourage them to be here in person. But true. True story. Okay, so I told Savannah I'd do a little bit of an intro. So first of all, my background, just way back when, over 2 decades ago, I was in the software industry for 11, 12 years as product manager. And I'll just tell you, when you're dealing with software, I don't know that there was one time ever that everything went smoothly and there was no glitches when you rolled out a new product or a new version. Has anybody had that experience? Just plug it in, it just went. You got what?
I had a fluid product.
Well, that's a terrible product manager, apparently. In fact, one time I was, there's a big forum back in the day. They called it the Intel Developers Forum. So think of like 400 ultra geek nerd tech guys in a big, it was at the Mark Moscone Center in San Francisco. And I got up there to present a new product. And literally, everybody know what the blue screen of death is?
Yes.
Yes. In the world of Windows, when the system locks up and it stops working, it's called blue screen of death. And I got up to do my presentation. My tech guy turned on the computer to go up on a big screen, blue screen of death. You never heard so much heckling. You know, thankfully, I was an Eagle Scout way back in the day. And what's the Boy Scouts motto? Be prepared. So I had a backup computer with the same demo on it, and I had my tech guy quickly plug that in, and boom, up on the screen. I'm like, oh, suckers, I was just joking with you. Anyway, so with Skyslope, one, I want to make sure we all understand why did we go to Skyslope? Why are we just not staying on paperless? Amanda, thank you, Amanda. So that we can all be integrated together. So the question was, why are we getting off paperless in Gilbert? Why do we get off the island versions in Scottsdale and Cave Creek?
One stop.
One-stop shop. Yeah, we're trying to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. So there was a little bit of a glitch getting the rollout and the logins. That was just the beginning. And then we ran across some things with checklists and a few other things. I want you to know, I appreciate Savannah. She has worked very hard to work with Skyslope, which is not always an easy thing, right, Joe? Working with Skyslope, the company?
No.
Yeah. Is it easy to work with Skyslope, the company, always?
Always easy to work with Skyslope?
Yeah.
I think for the most part,
The company.
so the company, working with the company,
Yeah. I know you've had some experience, so it's interesting. Yeah.
That could be a challenge.
Yeah, they're generally good, and I think at the agent level, when you call in, Savannah, what is Skyslope's motto for tech support and phone calls?
Oh, tech support, like just how fast they are. So, I mean, they're always available. They answer in like 3 rings or 4 rings, and they'll send you an instant message back within like 30 seconds. So they're always there to help.
They do really try hard. They don't care about the owner side. They do care about the agent and practitioner side. So if you have any issues, if you haven't already put in speed dial Skyslope's tech support number, you really should. And not only that, their website has a lot of videos that address probably 80% of the things that you run into. Okay. Having said that, the things that I asked Savannah to cover today, and it's just my list. So if you have additional things, the second half of this is anything that you guys have run into, any questions you have, things you want her to address. But let me just tell you really quickly what we're going to cover. Everybody knows there's 3 components, right, to Skyslope. A little bit of a test, Amanda. You already participated, so I'll pick on you.
Yes.
Okay. There's 3 components in Skyslope. What are they? Forms.
Skyslope itself, which is the transaction side.
We call it the console.
And Breeze.
Digital
side, Breeze.
Visual signature. And yes, Breeze is kind of a tangent off to the side here. Yes.
If they're gonna run Skyslope.
Savannah, if you could getting their number and put it up in the chat, their tech support while I'm doing my little intro thing here. So 3 components, and I'm going to put them in the order I like to think of them in my mind. I'm a little bit of a logical guy. I think like how it was when I was a practitioner and my wife and daughter are still licensed. Well, we usually start with forms, right? Start with forms. Now, when you're in the console or forms or DigiSign, you'll always notice at the top right, there's what we call the waffle. We call it waffle because it's the 9333 square blocks. Looks like a waffle. If you want to toggle between the three components, go up to the waffle. Whatever one you're in is not going to show up, but the other two will show up. If you go to another one, then it'll show up. So just some basics how to navigate around Skyslope. So you're not like, how do I get to forms or DigiSign or the console? Okay. So I'm going to have her address in that sequence forms because that seems to be where some of the hiccups were. Hello, Marlo. Some people came in and they said, oh my gosh, I'm seeing Utah forms. I'm also seeing Alabama forms. I'm also, yeah, Skyslope's a nationwide company. And so when you have libraries, you're going to have the national libraries. And she's going to show you how to make sure you go in and select your library. So that's what shows up for you. So you're like, oh my gosh, I have to sift through 5,000 forms. The second part of that is what we call templates in forms. You can create, for instance, a buyer's template, a seller's template, and 10 different variations of that. I think Gordon got in there and got a template, and it was, I think, a seller's template or something like that.
Vacant land.
Huh?
It was for vacant land.
Well, for vacant land, no less vacant land, but it didn't clearly say that it was Utah forms. So what I've asked Savannah to do also is to rename all of our templates, Utah ones, starting with UT. If there's going to be any forms, or sorry, templates that are Arizona Department, I don't know, Josh, what do you think? AZ? Yeah, you're a quick study. After that, I'm going to have her jump into DigiSign, right? Because we get our forms, we want our clients to sign either agency or listing agreement or whatever the case may be. And then what the hell do you do with it then? Sorry.
So can Savannah say support phone number since we are not in a chat?
I will hold the chat up so you can see it. There you go. You can all see that, can't you? I'll read it out loud. 800-507-4117. 800-507-4117. Yep.
I did call them the other day. They were
Very helpful. We have a testimonial right here.
I couldn't log in because I've had Skyslope before.
Yeah.
So they had my nurse number already.
Yep. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Very good. Thank you. Appreciate that.
So are there going to be Arizona templates? You said it?
Yes, there will be templates. I mean, listen, in Utah, in Nevada, in the other areas that we have Skyslope, the local office or the let's just say the state level, we will create our own templates. There's a certain way we'd like to see them, but we don't like it to be the guesswork of whether the agents create a good template or not. But know this, you can always create your own private template too. If you do a particular niche market, you're dealing with retirement communities and there's extra stuff that you need there, create your own template, right? So very flexible. With that, Savannah, I am going to turn the time. Oh, any questions? Before I do that, any additional things you want to see us address after we do those three items? No? Come on, yes. The first one? Well, you know what? We're going to cover a lot of the same stuff today. So look at that, Savannah. We have two people that totally ghosted us on the first one. So these are the two you want to pick on. During your presentation 3.
Probably happens.
All right. You know what? You got a 50-50 chance if you ask any questions, picking on the people that didn't come for the first one. Okay? Yes.
Mine doesn't look like theirs. Like theirs says gold next. Mine's just like straight up skies. Oh, because I'm in forms.
You're in forms. Yeah, he's in console.
Yep.
All right. So here's what I would suggest so that we march through this in a somewhat logical order. If you have a question that's pertinent to what we're dealing with at that point in time, raise your hand. If it's something you want to address later, make a note. And when we're done with the 3 main sections, we'll come back and get all the miscellaneous Q&A. Fair enough? We're going to start in forms, right, Savannah?
We are starting in forms. First is forms.
If you can get to forms, you're already ahead of the class. So let's go.
Hey guys,
All right.
let's do this. Okay,
And you're going to share your screen, right?
I will share my screen right now. Just wanted to make sure you guys could hear me okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're coming through loud and clear.
perfect. Alrighty, friends. And you can see my screen now, I'm assuming. Looks like you can. Perfect. Okay. So Skyslope forms. Like Matt mentioned, you know, there are a couple of things, obviously, when you've got some change, there's a little hiccup here and there sometimes, but fret not. We are here to help. One of the first things to start you guys off for success and set you up for success is making sure that when you do come into forms, you've got the right forms that you need. Now, as Matt mentioned, there are all of the Arizona libraries in Skyslope forms that you guys can add so that you have access to them. So just to make sure that we have access to them, I'm going to step you through how to triple check. So you'll come over to your top right-hand side of your screen where your initials are, and you'll click the drop down, and there's a lovely button that says libraries. So if you click on that one, it'll take you to this user settings page. There are a whole bunch of other settings in here that you can fiddle around with as well. But to make sure that you have the forms that you need, this is where you'll come, and then you can type in, you know, there's Alabama forms in there if you really wanted to, but I don't think you'll need those. But if you type in Arizona, you can see all of these associations that you can add to your Skyslope forms profile so that you have access to those. Now, Skyslope has already mapped all of these documents, so they're fillable and just really convenient for you guys to use. So I would make sure that you've got the associations that you need added into your library. If you want to add one of them, you'll just click and then on the association that you want, and then you'll click add. And this will show down the bottom right here which libraries you already are a part of and that you have access to. So that's step number
Hold on,
one.
hold on 1 second.
All good.
There's 4 that you need to join. So there's ARMLS, AAR, ADRE, and WESER.
And we serve. It sounds like a lot, but it's really not. The process of selecting a library is pretty easy. And all you do is you select it and you click add. So give us a second to catch up. A few of them are going through and doing it.
No, that's perfect. That's what we're doing. So
I'll let you know when you can go forward.
thanks, Matt.
Yeah, did you hear what Jessica said? If you need car, you can add it as well. I mean, my gosh, you can add pretty much anything you want. It's not going to hurt anything. It just means you're going to be cluttered with more forms that you may or may not be using. All right, we good to move forward? Everybody's done at least one ad? Hold on a second.
All good.
Remember the email. Where do you?
Right, Savannah, I think we're good to start moving forward. I think most everybody's added at least one library.
Perfect. Okay. So we've added a library. So that's step number one. As I mentioned, there are other things in here that you can, let's go back to my user settings, sorry, that you are able to fiddle with. One of them being how your signatures show up. If you automatically want it to place a date and time along with your signatures, you are able to set that up in here.
Hold on. Is everybody at user settings?
And actually, guys, go to profile because mine was wrong. It had rematched alliance groups. I want everybody to go in and change to.
So show them how to go to profile. for a
Yeah,
second.
Savannah.
I'm going to take you off script here.
All
So
good.
at your top right.
Yep, top
Everybody-
right-hand side of your screen, and then your user settings right here. And if you click It'll bring up everything in your profile. Now, this is your brokerage, license number, et cetera, et cetera.
Because Jessica had some stuff that was wrong there. So
Hold here. So if it says Remax Alliance Group, make sure it says Remax Premier, get your license number in there, get your MLS code in there, if you need the office codes.
Okay, the office.
I'll come over here so you can see hand gestures like stop.
I can't see. Well, I can see your back, but I can't see your hand. There you go.
Can you put our information up there, like our license number?
She's asking, can we put her brokerage? So scroll to the brokerage information.
And she wants our.
Ours.
Yeah. So your brokerage name?
That's, yeah, but
Yep.
the Premier.
Yeah.
We're not in Utah. We're in.
Nope.
She wants the information. Look it up.
No.
No, because we have different offices.
Hold on one second.
No, you're good.
So if you get to this field and they want to change to make sure it's Remax Premier, is it a drop down list?
No, it's just, they could actually just type over it. So you're able to type in and finger key in your brokerage name in this one. It'll update everything. So mine says Remax Associates because I'm with Remax Associates. My license is there.
Okay, so Savannah,
Yes.
Thank you. I'm just.
so are you saying it's auto-populates?
No.
You have to type it in.
We have to type it in.
We're just trying to go
Got it.
faster.
So what they're asking for, Savannah, if you don't have it, is, for instance, on the field for brokerage license number, that's
Yep.
obviously the license number.
Don't do that because we have to pay.
Oh, it's easy, I think. Okay, hold on, I got one.
Okay, hold on a second.
Okay.
Yeah, especially for mine. Gilbert office, our brokerage license number. Guys, please. Our brokerage license number is CO 002 09 1000. The MLS code is RNAL 01.
That's Gilbert.
That's Gilbert. Okay. If you are, everybody for Gilbert get that, why I said that.
Everybody in Gilbert got the Gilbert info?
Scottsdale. CO, this is the license number. 002 09 1002. The MLS code is JS Real REAL 01. That's Scottsdale. Okay. Cave Creek, you ready?
Can you repeat that? I got it
Oh,
right here.
hold on. Oh, she's got it. Okay. Cave Creek, the brokerage license number is CO 002 09 1003. And I do not have your MLS code, so one of you has to check.
Which one? So it's.
Yeah, why I wouldn't take my NRDS number.
RMCO
001.
001.
Copy and paste it. It's only 8 digits?
That's not the number.
No, I know that. I just have national. Yeah, so it's because of how old my number is? It's almost 30 years old. So it's only 8 digits.
And if
My NRDS for more. Yeah, because it's asking for 9. See that? It's asking for 9 and that's it.
Oh, who's your, well, that's your.
And like.
Yeah, just try to add one of those, you know. So I don't know why. There was a workaround. I did something. I can't remember what it was. I logged on. Yeah, the tech support. Okay. Well, I won't add anything. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Did everybody get brokerage license and MLS IDs and then your own license and MLS ID?
Yeah.
That's
I
what
done.
we need.
Been a realtor so long, you don't have enough numbers.
Don't forget to scroll to some of them.
To log in.
Yeah.
So,
I'm surprised. That he's in.
right, yeah, I probably didn't get zero. Oh, as soon as they do, thanks. No, I don't want to do that. Oh, there you go. There you
They
go.
won't let you do it.
They want me to go to the truck?
There you go, you're in.
I had it with zero before. I didn't, I literally just did that. It's okay. So it won't miss me. Okay, well, perfect. I added the zero. Thank you.
Savannah, just so you know, if somebody ever has an 8-digit nerd, so it requires 9, just put a leading 0. And it takes it. All right. Are we all at a place where we can keep moving on?
Yeah.
All right, Savannah, let her roll.
Okay, awesome sauce. So we've added everything in our preferences. If you have to share your Skyslope Forms account with a team member or anything along those lines, that can be done in my team, just to let you guys know what this tab would be.
Fine,
Sorry.
Savannah.
Yeah.
Josh brought up, if you're using TC services, you're going to want to do that as well, but the TC will help you do that.
Yep.
So, yeah, go ahead, Matt.
So that would be for this one.
Mine is sharing with like everyone.
Look how many he has and I have none. You just have to click on the sharing forms to get the right person.
Can I like get rid of them now? It's
Go to
like,
your search bar and put their name in, find them, and then hit
It's like-
sharing yours.
But it's like Julie.
That's like deleting.
it's like, I can't just,
Yeah.
like, I got.
You're on there.
IDs clicks.
I got everybody. This is all.
I don't have anyone.
They're all showing you.
Good, that's how, you're at where I want to be.
Yeah.
They're all on this one.
Government looking at my.
So everybody you're seeing there, if you go to my team, is office managers.
I have no.
Okay, so sorry, I forgot to explain one thing.
Because I don't have any characters, it's just Utah.
So
You're not-
part of the reason you will see Utah stuff, and thank goodness not Nevada yet, but we've been with Skyslope for 6 years now, and because Ron and I served for over a decade on our MLS, and we were helping them get integrated with our MLS, which covers almost all the state of Utah, we got kind of crazy, ridiculous pricing. So rather than have a different license with not great pricing for the 3 offices in Arizona, and however large we grow down here, we said, can we put it all under one license so that you don't have to increase fees or anything like that? You guys get the pricing and we're going to cover that. I said, yes. So when you go to my team and you see those people, those are all staff in Utah. So just ignore them. They're not going to do anything with your files. Right? But if you have a TC down here right now, which would be Courtney or Savannah, those are the only ones you're going to have to worry about sharing with. Unless you get a personal assistant. We'll cross that bridge later. Let's not navigate that today. Not super important today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. And then, so this is kind of it for at least your user profile settings. Now you guys know if you do need to come back and adjust anything, this is where you'll come. It's always just to your user profile, right-hand side of your screen. If you ever need to get home, back to your home base and you see your files that are in your forms, you can always click Files, or you can click your Skyslope Forms here on your left-hand side of your screen, and that will take you back to your home page, which will give you all of your files here in Skyslope Forms. Now, when I think of Skyslope Forms, I think Forms is first. It starts with the same letter. And that's where you'll want to start when you're sending out, any buyer agency agreements, seller agency agreements, anything along those lines. This is where you can store those, send them out, and they'll have everything for you guys. I will pull up, the templates page here, as Matt mentioned. I've worked with Brittany, who's our kind of back-end Skyslope specialist extraordinaire. I unfortunately thought I could put Utah in front of them, but I cannot. She is working on putting Utah or UT and AZ, or Z as they say in America, in front of all of the templates for you guys, just so then they can distinguish obviously which is which. There should also be a back setting as well that they will make sure that you guys can only see what's applicable to Arizona rather than crossing state lines. So in your templates, yep.
Can I interrupt for a second? So when when you're thinking this through, right, it helps to kind of have a logical flow in your mind, right? We're gonna create certain files, right? You put forms in your file, and then ultimately you're gonna put those files in envelopes to send out for signature. Think the mail system, right? So forms, files, envelope. That's kind of the flow as you're going through the forms and transitioning over to digital signatures. So, okay.
And then, so template wise, as Matt mentioned, you are able to set up your own templates for the time being. If there is a specific set of documents that, you like to include extra ones or this and that, that would all be up in your templates button right up here on your top left side of your screen. These are personal templates that you are able to create and pull documents from the libraries that you have added to your Skyslope Forms profile. So that's why we want to do the form side first and add those libraries in so that you guys can either create your templates and have access to those whenever you need. It'll set you guys up for success later on down the track. Creating a template is pretty easy. You've got your lovely create template button. It will ask you what kind of a template you are looking to create first. So either a buyer, seller, whichever one you would like to do, or one for each. You're able to click this. And
by the way, we don't define those pre-canned ones. Those are from Skyslope. Are you dealing with the buyer? Are you dealing with the seller? So I've had agents ask me, can I rename it this? No. And it's just a general category. You can customize after that.
Yep. And you can name it whatever you want. If it's, buyer special template, or I don't know, and you can rename it after right here. So you can name it. You can say, we'll just say AZ demo template. If I can type today. Continue. And this will then bring up all of your documents. This is why we wanted to add those libraries first. If you forgot one, you are able to add it through this add libraries button. It is a, like a safety measure. So you can get access to the other ones if needed. If not, you'll find all of the forms down here and you're able to kind of plug whichever ones you would like to in those templates. So again, buyer, seller, whichever side you're creating. But then we will also, as a brokerage, work with Brittany to get all of you guys brokerage set templates. So it should be a little bit easier for you guys as well. Just a one click and you'll have all the documents ready to go. Any questions on this so far?
So, and I think he already mentioned this, so I went to the buyer, because there's, on my screen, there's 7 tabs for the brokerage templates, or am I on the wrong one?
No, those are Utah, so Arizona's not in there yet.
Oh, okay, so it's, this is,
Yeah, so
okay,
it's not giving you access.
Yeah, so
But once Arizona's in there, take it and duplicate it and then make it.
okay, okay.
So yeah, I mean, a lot of things we have the ability to customize just as an admin account, but there's some things that Skyslope reserves for themselves, only they can change. So that's what Savannah was saying is we already have these templates in there for Utah. So yeah, they're showing up because they're all under one license, right? We've already put the request in. I'm assuming within 24 hours, all of the templates you see right now will be labeled Utah, blah, 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 Utah, whatever, right? And then as we create Arizona ones, you will see ones starting with AZ. Or, like she just said, you can create your own private ones.
This is the equivalent of your templates.
Probably within, we'll probably just take some of the templates we already have and make sure the documents translate, right? I mean, we'll have an AZ buyer template, we'll have an AZ seller agency template, or something along those lines. And we're only going to do the basics because anything outside of that, it's just kind of highly customized, right?
When that's going to be done,
Pardon me?
when that's going to be.
I would imagine 24, 48 hours. But up until then, you can create your own.
So is it possible to get something on the brokerage, our brokerage side? What are the required documents that she's looking for buyer side, seller side?
That's good. So we had turned those in with Savannah a month ago.
Yeah.
Approximately a month ago.
But can we get them so that we have a file, a side file, and make sure what we're going through?
Yeah,
Our
so
files that we have the right
I
questions. It's the checklist.
Okay. With the checklists are up, we've gone through multiple iterations to refine those. That's the third leg we're going to talk about.
No, but I'm just talking about forms too, like is when you're making a buyer, you're creating for form side and you're doing a listing and you want your listing. So we have all the required forms that you want me to get my seller to sign. And do you have all the forms when I'm creating a buyer side for my buyer, so that I'm not going back later on to my client and say,
Yes.
"You need to sign this one."
It is, and, you know, it's kind of a loaded question, to be perfectly honest.
That's what it is. The checklist is gonna be on the other side.
Right,
So what, would we be able to take that checklist and
You can print it off.
print it off?
Yeah.
Okay, and then, yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was So it's there.
Where's it
Yeah,
at?
that's what I was saying.
It's in
That's
Skyslope. We're getting to that in the third
Oh.
level. We're trying to go through in sequence.
Which is what we model after for what's going on.
So I think the way this really plays out, because these are all converging into one big answer. As soon as we get Skyslope to give us templates that can label AZ, we'll probably take the checklists, largely mirror them into a template
Okay.
so that you don't have to go to the checklist. You come over back over
That
to
would be
templates and forms and be like, again, you come back over here. You'll just click on, oh, buyer template, and all the forms are there. Now, here's Savannah showing this. When you have a template, it's going to default and say, do you want to use this template? You can say, oh yeah, of course. That's why I said use the template. You know what's cool? Once you're inside the template, if there's a form that isn't required, right? Just deselect it.
There's a lot of ads.
A lot of what?
Ads. Well, I'm just gonna miss that, sorry.
Okay.
Got one more question.
Oh, wait, sorry, Amanda.
Sorry, for the templates, can you add a form that's not in special, like affiliate business?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the only requirement is it's gotta be a PDF if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, okay. The affiliated business we have.
Yeah, so the ones, to Janice's point, in case you didn't hear, obviously we've got relationships with lending and title, you have to have an affiliated business disclosure. That will be part of the template, right? It's not something that Armless provides, it's something the company provides. We will put it in the template.
Well, the only reason I was asking that is because I have my own forms I use for property management, fires and whatever. I just want to know what those forms are so I can add them now to my personal.
And you know what I would do if I were you?
Huh.
I would take, when we get these created, 24, 48 hours, and then take it, that template, and say, oh, well, I need to add these three
Yes.
forms, and then save it as Diane's version of whatever.
Well, that's what I was saying. Is there a-
Yep.
Like some of the special forms you're gonna have, it's gonna be a adult, a Air Force base, a Falcon Field, you know. Those are gonna be some of the special forms that we might need to add to template based on the property.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
So I think the key thing to remember is you will not be able to modify a broker template. You'll be able to take a broker template as a starting point with its 10 forms.
You can duplicate it as a personal template.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But you will not be adjusting it for everybody in the company.
Right.
You'll take it, you'll duplicate it, and then you'll relabel it Diane.
Yeah, it's like in Microsoft, when you do save as, you have a form that's
Yep.
there, you do save as, and change the versions.
All right, Savannah.
Okay, we're ready?
Yes.
So we're gonna go through we're gonna step through going and making a file. So I have now, let's start from the start here. So we're on our main file page. Let's say I want to list my home. We're gonna create a listing and list my parents' place. And I know that they probably won't like it, but that's okay. So you're gonna click your create button. Now the create button is the best kind of a one to go for. There is a button that says create buyer or start buyer agreement. That will only do your buyer side. If you click create, it will give you the option to do buyer or seller. So just depending on which one you like to go for. I always click create just because it gives us both options. And then
Can you show where that is? Just
no, of course. So you've got create right here on the left-hand side of your screen, or you have start buyer agreement here on the right-hand side of your screen. So if you like a quick shortcut just to do your buyer stuff, then I would go for this guy, but create does give you both options. So in this case, I'm going to go for create since we are doing a listing. I want to do a seller. And then let's say create a seller net sheet. Skyslope has given does have now the capability to do a net sheet for you guys, which is really awesome. I definitely recommend utilizing it. You just have to kind of plug and chug all the information in, I guess is the easiest way to describe it. But I love them, and the agents I work with here actually have been presenting them to their clients, and I've received nothing but amazing feedback. So in regards to adding in your clients, if it is under the name of a trust, you'll just obviously want to click this lovely button here. It gives you the option to put in your organization name, LLC, trust name, and then their representative name as well, and then their email. If it is not a trust, obviously you don't need to click this button, and you'll just have first and last name and then email as well. I'm going to add in my dad's name. And I'm going to put my email address so he doesn't get any notifications. All righty. So we've added in my dad's name here. And then we're going to add in a property address. Now, you are able to import it from the MLS. If there's a previous MLS number, it will pull old ones as well as anything that is currently listed. So for buyer files, that is applicable. It'll also pull the address from Google so that you can get the most accurate address that you need. So I'm going to put in.
Word of caution while she's doing that. Even though that's a wonderful convenience feature, don't trust the system.
Nope.
I mean, it's populate it for you, but double check the data to make sure it's accurate. Because once in a while, there's a glitch, whether coming from the MLS or whatever, the data may not be accurate. So take advantage of it, repopulate it, but make sure you read it.
All righty. So we've named my property here, entered the address in, and then you're also able to rename the file. If you would like to do it by the client, you can name it by their name. You can also do it by the address, or you can combine and do both, whatever your preference is and however you name your files.
That's a timeout. I don't know what the preference would be here. I'm going to just assume, and you can shut me down. I prefer if you always select the address name, because when we go in on an administrative front, almost always we know what the address is, or you're telling us, hey, 123 Main Street. But if we, names are so uniquely spelled sometimes, then it's a problematic search. So if you could just help the office by, when you get to this option, just choose the address one. Just choose the address
But do
one.
you care about this in forms, or is it only the console?
Well,
Because forms is
yeah, so Josh brings up a good point. He's like, why do you care in forms? Because it's not going to go into the console. Well, funny you should say that, because when you go create a transaction, it says, do you want to use such and such forms? And there's a linkage there where that will get imported.
But as long as the file, the console's ready, is the property address. That's what matters, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, keep going.
Okay. So proceeding through, this was our template section. Yes, we have obviously addressed this, but at the moment, all of these are currently Utah. We will have ones that will be Arizona and pull all of the seller documents that you guys need in a template, and the buyer ones. I'm working with Brittany on that one. So you'll be able to have your Arizona templates right here. You'll just be able to click on it. As you can see, it does tell you which exact forms are in there. So if you're second guessing which template to use, Arizona will number one be in front, but number two, you can also just take a quick peek at what the documents are that are contained inside the template.
Go back there. You clicked off really fast. Show the 7 forms.
Skirt.
So those are the 7 forms that are in the template. Just
Yep.
gives you a quick synopsis. And
That's
that way,
gonna be
Diane,
on
if
there.
there's additional things you need, like, oh, okay, those 7 are good, but I need to add 2 more.
Perfect.
Those are gonna be on there for us.
And where do you add the additional one you said? Like, for example, if you need to add additional.
That's the next step.
So she's asking, how do you take a basic template and add some more? We'll get that in 2 seconds. Let's just go through the basic.
Yeah.
Using, and then we'll go to the augmented one.
Okay, so we've added in the basic information for my file. We're going to create the file now. And that's done by our lovely create button right here. Now, once that's loaded, So the net sheet option that I mentioned briefly for you guys, I'm not going to plug everything into this, but just so then you guys can at least see it and what it offers. You're able to calculate, excuse me, their net at close by adding in obviously the purchase price, whatever is on their loans, closing costs that you guys can get from title, etc. So, but this is available to you guys and it's part of the setting up the seller's Skyslope forms page as well. I'm going to exit out of this one though here. Alrighty, so you've created your file. This is the template that you'll see originally. It'll just pull over the base model template that we've imported for you guys. However, if you're wanting to add in other documents on a one-off, or if you have ones that you say just need to send out for the specific file, you'll go to your upload documents. If it's a special PDF that you guys have in your own like personal library, you can add it by uploading the document in here. If you're missing something that's one that should be contained in your libraries, you're able to do it by adding a form right here. So adding a form is pulling the forms from the libraries that you have already imported and added to your Skyslope Forms library. Any questions on that one so far?
We good?
Yay. Okay. Just so you guys are able to see it, I'm going to click add forms really quick. You'll be able to then search whatever you're missing from those libraries that you guys have. And then you can see it just says add on the side. So it'll give you the option to go next, and it will then import that specific form into your template for your file.
So Savannah, if it wasn't part of a library, if it was just some custom block for a subdivision or something like that, show them that. So if you want to add a form.
So that would be in your upload documents right here. You're able then to upload a PDF, pull it from your files on your computer, or drag and drop it to this screen as well. So, and then it will populate in your file too.
Then once you do that, do you have to then go in and add it, or does the upload function automatically put it into the template?
It'll automatically put it in the template for you.
So you're saying that goes, will that stay in a permanent template for your listings then?
If you save that template.
If you save that template, and so I have 3 or 4 extra forms, it'll always be in that template?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Yep.
you just rename it.
Okay,
Put your name at the front end, and that way you know it's your custom version
Good.
of the buyer.
outstanding. Thank you.
Gordon,
The affiliated agreement, where, right now, could we access that, or is that something yet to come that we have to go in a different library?
yeah, do we have an office library yet for Arizona? Go up to your
Brittany's working on that one for us. We just need the finalized list from Julie and Janice, and then we're good to go.
so you will have an additional library that just says office library.
Yeah,
Office
okay,
forms.
perfect.
Okay, we're good to go.
Sweet. Okay. Now, as Matt mentioned before, kind of thinking it mail system wise, we've got a file here with all of our documents. We need to put them into an envelope to send out to our sellers. So that kind of brings us into our DigiSign platform. So we're sending for signatures.
So we're shifting from leg number 1 to leg number 2 right now.
Yep, we're in the transitional phase. So I'm going to send out our wire fraud document and our affiliated business document. They're ones that we're all familiar with. So being in Skyslope, as I mentioned, they've already mapped these documents so that your signatures for these ones in particular in your template already have those text boxes and signature boxes placed for you guys. But I'll show you how to also add them in just in case.
I'm going to drill down that on that for 2 seconds. What you do. I want to make sure I can cover that a little more in depth. Another advantage of using the template is you don't have to go in all the time and drop signatures. If they're in the template, we will have gone through with Skyslope and made sure if you say there's 2 sellers, 3 sellers, a trust, that it will automatically populate with the appropriate fields for signature. So you don't have to go into DigiSign like drag a signature here, drag another signature here, right? So it's all with a mind or a mindset of trying to make it as simple and fast and efficient as possible and to reduce errors. Because you might forget, oh, on this document, I was supposed to have 3 signatures. I only had 2. Well, in your original, if you put all the information, you added the 3 clients, it's going to flow through to any document that you create. Okay, so super helpful.
And it also populates any of your seller's information. So that's why it's critical when you're putting inputting the information correctly. If it's in a trust, you'll want to make sure that that checkbox is marked, because then it will pull the trust name into this field right here rather than the representative's name. So you can see.
Let me ask you a question. How many have ever dealt with a trust? Raise your hand. Okay. So is it critical to get the signature right? Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be Captain Obvious here. Contract law is all about being specific, right? And an LLC or any entity like that is its own legal person. It literally is a legal person, because we get this all the time. You know, our office managers get a file in and it says, "Oh, Matt Martin signed for this, and it's the Martin Building and Realty Company." And it's like, Matt, come on. You should know better than this, right? Because Matt Martin is totally different than Martin Building and Realty Company. Two legal different people. It doesn't matter if I'm the owner of Martin Building and Realty. It doesn't matter. It's its own legal person. And that's why I'm just driving this point home, because I promise you, we're going to get some of them. And I'm trying to knock as many of them out as possible. To make sure you go into Skyslope, say, no, it's a trust. No, it's an LLC. No, it's a PC, whatever the case may be. And then make sure you put who the responsible person is to sign. What that does is it makes the contract enforceable. Why do I say this? We've had instances where it doesn't get signed the right way, then something gets screwy in the transaction. And guess where the first place they go is? An invalid contract. The right person didn't sign. This is unenforceable. We're out. Now that's the easy part. If they just say we're out, what happens if they've engaged with somebody else and we didn't do our job? We didn't follow our fiduciaries, right? And due diligence and proper care. We're now in a liability game. Translation, potential loss. That's not a fun day for you. So, big deal. Make sure if it's an entity, you get it done right. Did I scare everybody straight? Good. All right. Sorry, Savannah.
No, you're fine. So if there was, say, a spelling error in my seller's name, you can always click right here and it will pull up the information. So if you did miss that checkbox saying that it is a trust or an LLC entity, you are able to come in here and edit real time rather than having to go back out of this page. You can just edit from this page, which is awesome. And
Or did you kick off that page? You went pretty quick.
Yeah.
How did you get there?
So to click on that, I just clicked on my seller's name. So you'll be able to see here, anything that you hover over that pops up blue is a fillable field, and it's populating from the information that you've already put into your Skyslope Forms file.
Then click on it. At this point, you're back into editing.
Yep.
Okay.
If you had to add another seller for any reason, this is also the place that you can do it. You can click add another, and it will also update your file so that in all other documents, it'll have your two sellers rather than just the one. So,
How does she, how does that again?
Okay, go back, Savannah.
of course.
Just highlight this.
Oh,
So once it's blue or highlighted and you click on it, you're going into edit mode and you're going to be able to change the name.
okay.
Any field is like that. If it goes blue, you can edit it.
Yep.
I thought she automatically clicked on somewhere and the client's name popped into populated. into-
Yeah, this is the problem with her doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of files. She just goes really fast.
I'm sorry. I try and slow down as best as I can. So tell me if I'm going too fast. I promise I'll slow.
Well, that's why I keep interrupting.
Josh
Okay.
mentioned-
Well, I'll take a breather then.
Josh mentioned something that you're able to automatically populate or put information in, right?
Yeah, so when she created this folder, she put in the client's information at the start. So it's populated based off.
Oh,
Yeah, all she's saying is if for some reason you populated it thinking it was an individual and you got halfway through, rather than having to go all the way back out and start over, you can click on the field and it puts you back into edit mode and oh, it's a trust. Now you put the trust information. in.
nice. Okay, thank you. Thank you for clarifying.
One of these like kind of auto populated it already, but what if you need to add, like we used to drag?
We're gonna get that.
Oh,
You're asking questions about adding signatures and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. We'll get
Right. That's my very next screen. So I'm going to push on forward if everyone's okay with that. Good.
don't be laughing at us. You already did this.
All right, go ahead, Savannah.
So, okay. So next one would be preparing signature. So I've got my document here. We're ready to go. I need to send it out for signatures. So we're going to click bottom right. You're able to name the envelope. I strongly recommend this because while you're sending out all of these different documents, you are able to send out multiple documents in one envelope at a time. So you don't have to send out 3 different links for 3 different documents, but it keeps things straight, keeps things organized, and then you're able to know what actually is in that envelope that you've sent out.
So what is your suggestion on naming?
My suggestion on naming, if you're working with a specific buyer and or seller, I like to have the property address and then also the document that's being sent out, just so that you're able to keep it clean and clear when you have multiple offers or offers on a listing. I also suggest putting the buyer's last name in the offer, just so you're able to distinguish which is which if you're dealing with a multiple offer
So
situation.
to clarify, if how many of you work with a buyer that puts offers in on multiple properties? Yeah, we all have, right? So I guess the point is, don't say Bob Jones buyer offer or Bob Jones offer. It's like, well, which one, right? Make sure you put something parenthetically, the address or something, if there happens to be more than one. Otherwise, it will make your life a little miserable. You have to go in and click and look through, oh, that's that one. It's just annoying. So if you just get a good system, right, it makes your life a lot easier. Just always parenthetically, if you're putting the name, then parenthetically put the address. If you're putting the address, parenthetically put the name.
But usually we're sending like a whole bunch to sign.
That's why I just like disclosure.
That's what I would,
Correct.
yeah.
Correct.
Another question.
Yep.
So since I learned by doing, I went ahead and practiced with my own property with my own name, and now I'm like, how do I delete it? It just says rename duplicate or archive.
Yeah, we're gonna get better. Anytime. If we go down that path, it's gonna confuse people. If we march through a little bit.
Is this gonna mess with Jules up there? So all of this extra.
Because I use Skyslope, I use the same name as my file, and because I always want the same address, because if it's multiple, I'm still using the same address, and then the buyer's name.
I prefer that myself. Address and then whatever descriptor, buyer's name or if it's disclosures or if it's whatever, that goes in parentheses. That's just the way my mind works.
But I would love to know how to do it. If she's saying she can do this.
You can't do multiple offers on one envelope because it's tied to specific
I was
buyers.
thinking that's what she was saying. I was like, if she can do that, I want to know how to do it.
You can attach multiple documents, but not to multiple buyers. All right, let's go.
Okay, so prepare signature. We're going to send out for signatures here. I'm going to put our TCP affiliated business just to name it here. Of course, I want my seller to sign, but of course, I as the agent also need to sign on this document as well. If one of us only needs to receive a copy of it, or there's no action done on by the party that's in the file as well, you could have title in here if you needed to. You're able to toggle and adjust what they're doing, and what their responsibility is, their action, I guess, is what you could call it. So if I wanted my seller to receive a copy, I'll click that there and click next. But in this instance, we need to sign. So we're going to click next. And once it loads.
While it's loading, just remember, most of the time she's showing you the very manual version where you're going to drop signatures. Most of the times, if you're using a template, it's going to read off your information that I have 1 buyer, 2 buyers, 1 seller, 2 sellers. It's already going to have the signatures and the initials where they need to be. She's just showing you the ultra. I don't want anybody to panic, like, holy crap, no, most of the time you're going to use a template and you're not going to do what she's about to show you. But if you need to do it manually, that's what she's showing.
Question. So in an instance where you have someone who needs to view it, who is not a signer, how can that be set up?
Yeah, did you show her if somebody's just a viewer only?
Yep. So let's go back really quick. So if you just wanted to view it and receive a copy, so if you had a lender that needed to receive a copy of a signed document or title or the other party, you're able to come in here prior to putting your signatures in there and adjust the action required. So Matt?
So I think here's the question, Savannah.
Yeah.
Let's say you have these two,
Mhm.
and you know it's the wife buying the property, but she wants to make sure the husband sees a copy of it.
Yep.
You would have to go back up to a recipient and then clarify they're not signing, they're just receiving a copy or no action.
It's like,
You put it
You
in
in it
the
before you sign.
form.
So
You put it in the naming factor, when you get ready to sign, you put them in there like, no action, or want to see the form, but then when you go, I'm taking a step ahead, you go over to the name each side, where who gets the form first, who gets the form second, you can have that person set as one.
There
You can
is
say-
right here.
okay,
So, yeah.
Jordan's got a question.
By the fact that they sign it, does that also mean hopefully that they've also received a copy?
Yes. Yeah, the default we set at the office level is send a PDF out. Right? So once they've signed, the system automatically should send an email. Because that's just a good business practice, right? Yes.
okay, once both parties sign, seller and buyer, and it comes back, and I receive a question. Is there a possibility of adding the lender and the title company to it so that once it's all approved by both parties?
Yeah. So did you catch the question, Savannah?
I think I heard about half of it. So, but I
Okay,
think
so the question was, you got two signers and it goes out and they get signatures on it and it comes back, but then, oh my gosh, I want to get it to my lender.
so.
Address that.
That's actually what I was about to cover, which is perfect timing. If say lender, title, or it needs to go over to another agent, if you've got an addendum that you automatically want it to deliver as soon as it's executed, you're able to adjust it and put them in on this page prior to sending for signatures. It's on the left-hand side of your screen under recipients. You do have 3 little dots right here where my cursor is. You're able to click on that and edit the recipients. It also enables you to edit the signing order as well if you want someone to sign first, second, third. You can also add in recipients by just clicking on your recipient in here. If I wanted Matt to receive a copy of this, I can click Matt. I already have his contact information in here because clearly I've sent him something before, but it'll auto-populate in here. You are able to then either have him sign the document or you can just have them receive a copy when it's fully executed. The biggest thing that some people forget to do is you need to click save here prior to clicking save out of this whole window. So you do want to save your recipient first.
Can you only send one at a time or can you send it to everyone at the same time?
Yeah, you have that latitude. You can say anybody can sign at any time. Anybody.
Where is that on this page?
Can you show them the sequencing, Savannah?
Of course. So it's actually right here. So at the moment, this is everyone is signing at the same time. The link's going out to myself and my seller at the same time. If you wanted to stagger it and say, I wanted to sign first to review everything and then have it go to my seller or vice versa, you're able to add a signer group here. And then by adding a signer group, it says who signs second. Now you can either just drag and drop them down, which I find the easiest. I'm going to quickly edit and cancel out Matt here. But if I wanted to put, say have the seller sign at a different sequence, then I'm able to come in here and actually edit them just in this page as well. So there's 2 ways that you can do achieve the same thing here.
So right here, it's just numbered, right? You could create 5 groups. If you needed to. I mean, right? If you've ever had the joy of dealing with a family where the parents have died and they've got a lot of kids and they all have to be signers. Yeah.
I think it's 4, because I have a lease that I have where there's 4 people on the lease.
Do you know if it can go beyond 4?
Can we set that in our profiles?
We can do it right now. I believe you can have as many as you need to in there. Let's see.
Well, yeah, for sake of time, let's not. And
I was like, we can see if we want. I'll get back to you on that one. How does that sound?
right, let's go on.
Okay, so clicking save here. So with edited our recipients. It will actually tell you as well over here, you know, Savannah is the first to sign, and then the next to sign is Tim. So it'll remind you on the left-hand side of your screen.
And scroll down on the left-hand side and just show them the preview of the outgoing email.
Yep. So I wish I could expand it a little bit more. I might zoom out here. There we go. Can you guys still see that okay?
It's pretty small. Go back to where you were.
Sorry.
Anyway, this is the default language.
There you go.
It's really personable. You know, you have documents to sign. Hurry up. You're kidding. It doesn't actually say that. But you can go in and customize it once you get ready to send it. And make it flower as you want.
So you can, there's two places where you can edit the message that's being sent out. Number one is kind of similar to editing your recipients. You've got your 3 dots, but it's just in the section below. You're able to click this and edit the message here. You're also able to edit it before you hit send. So if I click send, it will pop this up as well. Whatever you've previously edited on the other page, you can either, it'll populate here, or you can just do it from this screen as well. It achieves the same thing.
So translation, Skyslope's worked with a few agents and they realize we don't always think things through logically. And so they're like, giving you multiple places to do the same thing. Hey, in case you forgot, here's another opportunity. Not that you have to, it's just like, don't want to send you all the way back because that means you're probably going to be a support call. So, hey, just click here and you can still do the same thing.
Minimizing calls. Okay, so then on this document, since it's already been mapped by Skyslope and set in the template, down the bottom here, he already has.
Never mind. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. So down here, it's already mapped and placed the signatures for us, which is amazing. Makes it really convenient and easy. If we did need to add another signature in, or say I wanted to put date and time in here instead of just the date, you're able to add all of these in via your options up the top. The biggest one that I'll give you guys the clue on is the date only has the date, and the time has both date and time. So if you're needing both of them, use time rather than date. That'll save your bacon a lot.
You want to take the second. Well, I mean, that would be preferred in the situation if there's conflict.
Oh, so. No, where's that?
The other thing with Skyslope Forms is I know with some signature platforms, it's a click or like a click and a drag to kind of, you know, get it as big as you need it to be. Skyslope, when you're placing something on the screen, it's a click and a click, and it will automatically, it reads the document as to how big the signature needs to be. So that will also save you some time. If I want to place an initial, I just will click the initials box up here and then click down on the screen, and it will map how big the signature box needs to be as well. So easier.
Two quick things. One, can you show the timestamp?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So, I mean, this is adequate, right? But some of our documents have a time element. They could be because of an addendum, right? I think your default is midnight on a lot of your documents, but nothing precludes us saying you have to respond by 5 o'clock p.m., right? For a counter offer or something like that. Right. But even if we customize it, this is what's important to us, right? When something goes sideways and you reach out to Janice, you know, she's going to jump into the file, going to look at it. And if there's a particular time requirement and you haven't been using the timestamp, then she's got to go, oh, crap. And then she's got to call you back and hopefully get you on the phone. And you got to be like, well, I'm not sure what time I was signed. And then you're going to have to go to your email and see when it came through. It's annoying as hell, right? So the point is just use time. Don't use date, because time does date and time.
Yep.
It'll just save you grief in the future. Yeah, Josh.
Question though, is when we're talking about time frames, is it once it's delivered and not when it's signed?
Well,
So if they sign at 3 o'clock and we deliver at 8 p.m., it doesn't matter.
so I get what you're saying, and Josh is being controversial. And I really wish I would not what I'm doing.
It's correct.
He is correct, but are all of your forms delivery requirements?
Yeah.
All of them.
I mean, I think we should still do it, but I'm just.
Do me just a personal favor from Matt. Just use thumb.
Sorry, my bad.
That's okay.
Come on, John.
The other thing is when you do this, if you are doing the manual version of this, let's say you've got some special document and it's 6 pages and it needs an initial on the bottom of every page. If you just go and highlight on page 1 the initial and time that you already have there and do Control C. I don't know Control C, right? Control C, Control V. Right. Pause. Gonna nerd out for a minute. Where did Control C and Control V come from? No, Microsoft stole it. No, before Apple wasn't even invented. There's this crazy program when it was DOS-based called WordStar. It was the word processor, and there was no mouse, and so you had a bunch of keystrokes. Control C, Control V. You're using something that's like 50 years old, and it still works today. It's excellent. So if you have these here and you just highlighted them, and you hit Control C, and went to your next page, hit Control V. All the initials and timestamps all go there, and you go to page 3. Control V. They're there again. Go to page 4, Control V, they're all there. Super simple.
Makes it a
Save
lot.
yourself. Yes.
Sorry, I just can't see it from here. On the timestamp, does it say Mountain Time, Pacific Time, or just at the time?
Good point. It
Because
is.
Yeah. So this goes back to your profile where it's going to ask you, where are you? Right? Because it will base its time signature based on what you define in your profile. Am I Arizona time? Am I Mountain time? Am I Eastern time? Am I Pacific time? That makes sense? Yep. Okay.
The other thing with the time is if your buyer is, say, in New York and in a completely different time zone, it will put the time zone that they're in as well. So it will always distinguish which time zone people are signing in, just as a heads up for you guys. But yes.
That's a good point, right? Yeah, because we have this, and in Utah, we have some, our deadlines are 5 o'clock p.m. people. 5 o'clock p.m. and not a delivery requirement. So the time becomes even more critical. We've had people that sign before the deadline. I've had this with other brokers. Like, oh, we signed on time. I actually did it. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, that was specific. Or, oh, sorry, Eastern time. You missed it by 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I don't have the prerogative of just saying, don't worry about it. That's my client's choice. And my client's the same they want out of the contract. So it does matter. Pay attention to when that timestamp comes in. But if we're doing it, it's going to, if you're signing, like if you had to sign as an agent, it's going to default what's in your pool.
Even if you're in New York?
I don't know. I will book a flight to New York and I'll test it for you. Sure.
I know that a lot of people do have issues with the check boxes when they're sending them out to clients as well. So I did just want to show you guys this too, just to make your lives a little bit easier. When you're sending out check boxes in Skyslope, you are able, it's another click and click action. So I'll click down on my screen. You can see here, there's a lovely blank checkbox. Nothing is checked. If you don't want to have to rely on your client to do it, because sometimes they are missed, you can do checked by default. It means that they can still uncheck it if needed. But this will save a lot of time sometimes if you're relying on your sellers or buyers to check these check boxes.
Hey, Savannah, if there is a checkbox, will they be able to finish their signing without choosing to check?
Correct. Yes. Yep.
You guys got it. Right? Because think of like, I don't know, is there a pool? Is there not a pool? Check or not check, right? I'm sorry, just using a dumb example. It's still going to let you finish. So if the point is if there's something more critical where they have to affirm one way or another, you better go back and check to see if they checked, because it will allow them to complete without checking. That makes sense? That's a lot of words.
How many times can we say check in a sentence?
I don't know. Let me check.
Can't you just check by default and read only
Can you check it and then make it read only?
Yes, you can. Yep. So it's right over here. So you can do check by default and read only. If it's read only, it grays out, which means that whoever client or agent, no one can touch it. It's permanent on the page.
I would be careful with that as an agent.
Yep.
If it's a disclosure, for instance,
Even if you have a verbal conversation with them.
well, verbal conversation,
I know
they get challenged all the time, right? So my point is this. Skyslope is a true journaling system. It will document who checked. If you checked it and it was on a critical item and it was only based on a conversation, then you're going to be in a he said, she said, if there's a problem with that being checked and somebody relying on that, because then you became the source of information. So I think a lot of trivial stuff, not a big deal. But if you get into disclosures, I would make sure my client is the one that's doing the checking.
the biggest thing I'm thinking about is the client's home warranty. Yeah, so by default, I'm having a conversation, do you want a home warranty? No, we don't. Okay, so I'm just checking it.
That's what.
Yeah,
I-
that's not, you're not going to get sued for that. But if
There's no other checkbox really that are disclosed right besides agents.
But I think
basement. Yeah, don't put any of the checking.
I was
overlays.
just- I was paying attention to anyone, so- Just 'cause it's one person. You know what?
it's so light.
They're still.
Oh, you're talking about, yeah.
Otherwise, why do we pre-fill out forms? in any
Okay.
way, shape, or form?
Okay.
Here we go.
Perfect. The other thing, the last, I guess, important thing to know from this screen is if I had two signatures and they were both assigned to the seller, the same seller, say I accidentally put them both under the same person. I'm just going to reconfigure that. If you needed to, excuse me. If you needed to, you can click on the specific box that you want to reassign and reassign who the signer is or who the date gets assigned to the specific client, seller, or agent. So that way they'll sign it instead of the other person, if that makes sense.
Or flat out delete it.
Or flat out delete it, which can be done with your backspace button on if you're looking for a keystroke, or on the left-hand side of your screen. You can do it from here as well. So again, two functions, two ways to achieve the same thing. To send out the document, as I had brought up before, we'll click our lovely send button on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. It will bring up a window first. It doesn't automatically send it out. To save your bacon a little bit, you're able to then say, let's say, what do we want to say? Affiliated business disclosure for signature. You could say whatever you want to over here. You have documents to sign, yada, yada, yada. This is the subject line that your clients will see as the email, and then you've got the body of the message. Skyslope has put in some functions. If you type up a paragraph and you want it to sound more professional, friendly, or urgent, it'll AI it for you, help you write it, and then re-edit it for you. So that's another good feature, and I definitely utilize that one myself. And then last but not least, you click send for signatures. So that'll just send it directly to your client. And then we start the signing process. So that is DigiSign and sending out an envelope. Do we have any questions?
Know this, there's a lot of moving parts, right?
There is.
You get the basics of it though, right? So we go find our forms. We make sure we have the libraries lined up. We use templates when they're there. We can customize our templates and then use them whenever possible because it just makes your life easier. But then it's going to drop you into DigiSign, which if you use the template and it's populated with signatures, it just wipes out 90% of what she just said. It's already going to be done, right? Now the question is, and then what? Comes back with signatures, right? You've got a listing or you've got a buyer who's now under contract. So what now? Now we go to the console.
Now we go to our console. Let's see here. Matt, what did you call it earlier? The waffle? The waffle. I call it a Rubik's Cube. You can call it whatever you would like. Yes, Matt.
Before, Josh just brought up a point.
Oh, yeah.
Before we get into the console, if they wanted to go and see the different documents or envelopes that are out for signature, where do they go and look?
Or show how to resend for signature, stuff like that.
And how to resend in case somebody's like, oh, I didn't get the email. And you're like, well, let me resend it to you.
Okay. So there's two places that you can view this. Number one is in the specific file. If I'm looking at this file specifically, and there's a few things that I need to resend out or just see the status of the document, that will be on the right-hand side under action. You can see here your 3 dots. By clicking this, it'll bring up a whole bunch of options. Number one is reminding and resending. Skyslope, when you're sending out the document, it's actually in your preferences as well. If you would like it to automatically resend your client reminders or whoever hasn't signed the document, reminders every 24 hours. It'll automatically do that for you guys so you don't have to go in every 24 hours and resend the document. If you want to manually do it or just need to quickly do it so that your client can see it at the top of their inbox, remind and resend is your best friend here. You'll click on this one and it will bring up the parties that are in the envelope. And you're able to say send reminder. You're able to edit the email address if for some reason they needed to send to a different email. And this is where you'll do all of this functionality.
And go back to the main list of things, actions you could do.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, pay attention to the one at the bottom. Cancel the envelope.
Can you fix anything?
You really, yeah, you can.
Change.
But if you just totally gummed it up and you send it to the wrong person and you're highly embarrassed, just come in and cancel the envelope.
Yep. Yeah. And you can, I like viewing the history as well. You're able to click on this. It'll give you the envelope history. It'll let you know if one of your sellers has viewed it or one of your clients has viewed the document but not signed it. It could mean that there's, either they're having an issue with it or they got sidetracked and forgot to fully execute the document. That's always a possibility. So this is where you would come to see the progress.
This is actually really fun and beneficial in some ways. If it goes to an agent on the other side, anybody had the experience? Oh, I never got that. What are you talking about? Really? Because the tracking system on Skyslope says you opened it at 11:10 a.m. on, August 11th. Isn't that weird? Oh, yeah. I did get it. Right? So this is actually really helpful.
And you can download the history as well if you need. So that's just coming up through and doing you can download the signing certificate as well, if anyone needs that. But then you're also just able to download the history itself if you're needing that as well for your records and files. Now we'll go back to our lovely page. The other place that you can see a compilation of everything that you've sent out to over all of your files. That is done up in your Rubik's Cube, your waffle, whichever one you want to call it. If you go to here, you'll see your DigiSign button. So that is your signing platform that you've sent everything. It will give you a lovely list of all of the documents that you've sent out recently. And then you're actually able to go in here and it will still give you the same options as if you were in the actual file itself. This allows you to navigate over multiple files. If you're waiting on, say, multiple buyers' signatures over different things, you can take care of all of them from one page.
It's really helpful. If you've got multiple buyers you're working with currently, just go in beginning of the day, end of the day, and you can look and see where everything is, right, on like one sheet. So good way to keep yourself on top of things.
Yep. So if we're missing anything, this is a good screen to come to see the status of your documents that you're missing signatures on.
Good to move to the console.
It's what we're doing now. Okay, so back up to our waffle/Rubik's Cube. We're clicking on Skyslope. Skyslope is our console, and that's how we submit all of our documents to the brokerage and to Julie for review. This is a very important step. Otherwise, the brokerage doesn't get your documents and they don't see it. It's a big thing that a lot of agents will say, hey, but I have them signed and they're in Skyslope. But there's two different things. We've got the form side of things, which is, what's been sent out for signatures, versus the console, which is actually submitting it to the brokerage so that Janice and Julie can review it. So we're going to click on Skyslope here. Unfortunately, I don't have the exact same layout that you guys do, but it's pretty much the exact same. So I do have a couple extra buttons, but I'll take you so that you don't get lost.
Since she's a TC, she kind of has added privileges, which gives us just a little bit different view than an agent, but there's a lot of commonality. So
there's a lot of commonality. It achieves the same thing and the same. I just have two extra buttons. But this will be your home hub. You'll get from being on your console page, you will get to see how many active listings you have, how many closings you've had as an agent, also the amount of pending transactions that you have. So pending stands for just anything that's under contract. It'll also be, so a listing that you have under contract as well as just a buyer file will both fall under pending. If it's just a listing that's not under contract, you'll see that in your active listings. So this is active versus pending, just so then you guys know where to find some things. If you need to create a listing, you'll have two buttons. One is create new listing and one is manage listings. And then you'll have create transaction and manage transaction as well. So you're able to then get an overview. Yes, Matt.
Sure. Go on the bottom left.
Bottom left.
Yeah.
Right here.
Write an offer, write a listing.
Yep. So if we would need to do this, I'm going to go in and say, hey, I want to write an offer. By clicking this page, it should open up a new window. And it will automatically bring you to creating a file for a buyer.
Just like we were in forums. I mean,
Yep.
it seems super simple, but a lot of times agents go to the console and they kind of get a glazed over look in their eyes and like, there's so many buttons. What do I do? Just remember, the most basic functions are at the bottom left. Write an offer or create a listing. And it will marching you through. So you don't have to remember everything. That's what I'm trying to say. Try and remember it, but you don't have to. The system takes account for that.
All righty. So I'm going to go back to my homepage.
Console.
I'm going back to my console. I'm going to enter in a listing. Since we're working on a listing file, we're going to continue it through and I need to submit my documents now to the brokerage. I'm going to manage my own listings and create a new listing because technically we don't have it in the console yet. So we need to create something new. By creating a listing, and you guys will have this exact same screen that I do now. By creating a listing, you'll come up to your lovely green create listing button. By doing it in forms, they do talk to each other. So anything that is fully executed, any envelopes that have been fully sent out for signatures and executed, they will be able to come and sync right up with your console listing that you create, so that whenever anything's signed, it will automatically populate into the console. So by doing this, it'll ask who you're representing. So a listing, who's the agent? That would be myself. Now, this is the most important part. If you have a forms file that you've created, this is where you'll want to make sure that you're connecting it. You can see here that it's populating all of these forms files that I've accessed recently and that I have in my own forms account, Skyslope Forms. So you want to make sure that you're clicking the correct one so that your documents and all of the information will populate over as well. Let's pull up my forms file and get it all connected. There it is. Sometimes, depending on if you've got a lot of them in here, you'll see all of your different options, but you can see here, I've got it right here, 123 Main Street. I'll click on that one, and then it's going to populate the information that I already put in, luckily. So here we've got creating our checklist. Now the checklist is the big thing. You guys in Arizona have AZ, oh, excuse me, I've got something that popped up on my screen. AZ buyer, AZ listing, and listing land as well. So you've got a couple of different options, but your checklist will automatically populate in here, and it's just distinguishing which is which. So you can see here, I've got listing residential, listing land. So I'm going to go for residential, even though it says we're in Salt Lake. Price wise, you know, we're going to go for something just nice and easy. Your listing date, obviously the effective date of your listing agreement here. I'm going to put today, and then say my expiration is December 31st. We'll want to enter that one in here as well. So pretty easy on just entering all of the information. You can enter in your year built as well. And then you've got your seller's contact information that you had already put into your Skyslope Forms file. You can continue through here, and it'll give you, if you're using a TC, you can input them in here. You can also add in your commission details. So just clicking through all of the screens, by clicking next, it'll help populate all of the information that's needed to create the file. If you're ever missing anything, it will alert you to it as well. So it's pretty foolproof.
I'm going to chime in for a second here.
Chime in.
Like so many things in our business, at the front end is almost always easier than at the back end, right? If you get that information, you just sat down with the seller, for instance, commissions, right? Rather than waiting till the end, like, wait a minute, what did we agree? Just get it in at the front end. You can always come in and change it later, but it also helps the office, right? Because we're sitting there trying to process the file, making sure everything's complete, or you didn't populate that. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, so now I'm going to send broker off to Janice, and where's she going to go? She's going to go look at the file. It's like, well, I'm not sure if this is accurate because it was never keyed in. And then what she has to do at that point is go pull up all the files manually herself. Super excited about that, Janice? Yeah. So, if you're looking to grease the skids and make things easy and a file flow smoothly so you get paid on time, populate the stuff early at the front end.
Yep. So here we've got our checklist. It's fabulous, nice and easy. And I do apologize for all of the little hiccups that we've encountered across the ways, but we do have a fabulous checklist here for you guys. The nice function in the checklist is if there's anything that is not applicable, you're able to input notes in here. So if I'm not going live on the MLS yet until, say, next week, you can put a note saying not going live until 8/17. You're able to put a note in here as well if you don't have your spuds yet, saying seller filling out the spuds. Anything along those lines that you need for your own file, as well as it will be able to communicate with Julie. Julie can also communicate to you guys through these notes if we're missing a signature on something, if it was the incorrect document that was uploaded, or if it just wasn't signed and we had accidentally put that one on the checklist as well. She is able to let you guys know that it is an incomplete document and that we need to get it updated with either whatever is missing.
Just so you know, also Skyslope intelligent this way. It's not going to, if Julie's going through one of your files and there's a problem and something's missing, it's not going to automatically just fire off the message to you. It tries to bunch those together and say, here are your 4 files. 2 of them are good. This one's missing an initial. This one's missing a date, or whatever the case may be. And you kind of get a summary each day of the things that are good, bad, or ugly.
If I'm working with a realtor as his TC and he adds me, does this show up on my dashboard or am I logging into his Skyslope?
Excuse me, it'll show up on your dashboard. There's a specific setting that says, that your agent will toggle that says that they allow for TC access, and then you'll have access to their specific profile.
You're talking to an agent at another brokerage?
Here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's this whole thing of fiduciary confidentiality. I was going to be delicate about it.
I appreciate that.
All right.
Okay. So looking here at for anyone that's not familiar with Skyslope, when you're looking at any file.
Sorry, one more thing. Go back to your checklist.
Yeah.
We covered this in the first meeting, so those that weren't at the first meeting, you'll realize, scroll up a little, Savannah.
Yep.
So you'll notice, fields that are required. By default, there's always going to be exceptions, so don't get super hung up on it, but it's a starting place for the office. Julie will be looking at these going, hey, do we have this stock, this stock, this stock? Especially when it gets time for you to get paid, especially when it's time for you to get paid. A lot of these are just added. There may not be an addendum, right, to the listing agreement, but we put them in there and we tag them as if applicable. So if it's applicable, then go ahead and use it. But if it says if applicable, we're not going to say your file is not complete. Our basis for that is just ones that are labeled as required.
And the agents have the capability of marking, uploading their own form when they know they need it.
Right.
It's not a Julie responsibility. It's
Correct.
the agent.
Say that louder. That was a good one.
If an agent needs to add a form on the checklist, that they know that maybe they can upload it themselves. And it's not something that Julie will come back and tell you, she doesn't have your whole file. Did I say that simply?
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And question.
If the notes are consolidated, like if Julie or I are adding notes and you're saying they're consolidated, is it just for that file?
Did you hear that?
Yes, yep. So if you're adding in any notes for the file, it's only for that one specific file.
But what she's saying is, Skyslope sends out like a daily update.
Mhm.
Is that going to take all of the agents' files or just the one that has notes?
That we're having notes on. It depends on, it depends question. So I guess specifically in the back systems for you, Janice, depending on what you're looking for, is in your settings, you've got notifications that you can toggle and it'll filter through which ones you're looking for specifically. If you want all or just some that have notes.
How are the agents being notified? Is it dynamic anytime a note's entered, or do they batch them together and send them out?
Yeah. So what the best thing to do is, there is a lovely button up here if Janice needs to notify you guys, or if Julie needs to as well. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. It's right here. So updating an agent. Janice, if you've got something to send to Josh saying, hey, we're missing a signature on this, or this is not allowed, what the heck are you doing? You can do it from here, so that it'll send the whole checklist to the agent. If there's 3 documents that are missing signatures, rather than sending out 3 different alerts, it'll put them all into one, and you can include the entire checklist. You can include only the ones that are incomplete. You can include, whatever you're wanting to send to the agent. This is the perfect screen to do it. The other thing is if there's things that you don't need to put on your checklist, but you need to house them as, either emails or communication with, say, your client or et cetera, that's what your documents tab for. Oh, sorry. That's what your documents tab is for. By clicking this, you'll be able to see everything that's in your file, in the console file, even if it's not attached to the checklist.
And here's, we presented this last time. Every transaction that is created gets its own unique email address. It may not seem like a big deal, but what I advocate for people to do, anytime you have a buyer, anytime you have a transaction, a listing, and you get this email address, now her property name was 123 Main Street. I highly recommend you go to your contact manager on your phone or your email or whatever and add a new contact. The contact name is going to be 123 Main Street or whatever the property address is, right? And when you go and create a new contact, it says, what's their phone number? Well, there isn't a phone number. What's the email address? Oh, it's this email address. That way, if you're out on vacation, it's the weekend, you're doing something, I don't know, whatever the situation is, and you get a document from the other side, a side addendum, a disclosure, or whatever, all you do is take that email and say forward to 123 Main Street. Remember, because we have a contact name, 123 Main Street. That's email address is this. That means that document automatically gets sent into the transaction. The office has it. Just makes your life super easy. But a lot of agents be like, yeah, I don't know if I need to do that. It's not that big of a deal. Joe.
It's a good way to emails, any clients issues and questions that you're dealing with on the email, you can copy that one particular place. You can copy that email address and it keeps your history of your communications with your clients down.
And here's another.
Please use this feature.
Yeah, use this feature. And by the way, most of the time, if you get a text, you have the ability to forward it. Most phones, I'm an Android guy, don't be a hater, but I can sit there and forward it to an email address, right? If I have this email address as a contact 123 Main Street, and Joe, crazy agent on the other side, sends me something that is like really not in his benefit, man, of course I'm going to archive that. I'm like, thank you, Joe. Forward to 123 Main Street. Boom. It's now in Skyslope. It lives forever.
Is what kind of document? Is it a note? Is it a?
Yeah, it will come in a console. I don't know what they do on the back end, perfectly honest, Gordon, but it is retained there. Their default is almost always a PDF. So Joe's, it's not a too subtle point that so many times, we need to have good habits as agents, right? Sometimes we wait until there's a crisis and then it's too late. If you just develop good habits, somebody sends me a communication that has to do with property, and 123 Main Street. How hard is that? Right? Forward to contact 123 Main Street. I'm done. It's now there. It's part of the file forever. If I ever need to come back to it, I've got to. If ADRE comes knocking on your door one day and says, "Hey, we got a complaint about X, Y, and Z," you know, that's bullcrap because the agent or the client or somebody else did this, and you had good systems in place, good habits, where you had all that documentation. Helpful with ADRE. Super helpful. So I hope you never have to deal with that.
So the biggest part, I guess, that we're missing a step here is how does Julie or Janice get these documents? So between the two platforms, if something is signed in Skyslope Forms, by doing the steps that we've followed, as soon as it's signed, it'll populate here and drop right into your documents tab. But they're still not assigned to the checklist. And that's kind of a push function. Yes, Matt?
Scroll up.
Scroll
so they
in.
see what they're about.
Oh, sorry. Like here.
Yeah. So what she's talking about, she showed you the checklist, applicable, if applicable, required. That was that list. That's on this tab. What she's talking about is when somebody sends something and it goes to this repository known as documents, it doesn't automatically go to a checklist. It has to be attached to a checklist item.
I'm going to grab it. We're just going to do our TC brochure. Why not? I'm going to drag it into here just so then we have something to assign, even though it's not the correct one. Here we go. So I dragged and dropped it. So now we've got a document in here and I need to assign it to my checklist. Now there's two ways that we can do this. Number one is you've got your document list and you've got a lovely little box here and you can click assign and it will bring up everything that's on your checklist that you want to assign it to. And so if this was our wire fraud, or we'll go affiliated business disclosure, I'm going to click this and it will now assign it to that spot on the checklist. I'm going to go over to the checklist so then you can take a look. The other way that you can assign it is directly from the checklist when you're on that tab. And I will, excuse me, don't have the best.
While she's doing that, my personal opinion is there's 3 tabs.
Yep.
3, maybe 4 tabs you're going to use. Most of them are going to be these 2, right? You're going to get a document in. That's in the platform. That's like it's come to the office allegedly because it's in our console. It's no longer in forms or in DigiSign. It's now at the office. But in order for the office to start processing it, it's got to be attached to a checklist. And so you're going to go from here where she's assigning, and it's super helpful and cooperating. And then we'll get over to a checklist and say, that's the requirement. It fit.
Is the office only reviewing the checklist and not documents?
Correct. Because what Josh asked the question, are we not reviewing documents? Well, just to be clear, because it's a game of semantics. Of course, we're reviewing documents, but we're not reviewing the documents tab because that is just like a catch cure. It's like where everything goes, and we don't have the bandwidth to sort through. If Joe had sent in a bunch of texts and emails, they're going to be in documents. I'm going to have to parse through all that. So the agent's job is to sit there and say, here's a document that came up if it's SPUDs. I'm going to drag it over and I'm going to attach it to the checklist item SPUDs, which is requirement. Okay.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
now we can see that it's attached to the checklist. It's sitting there in a pending status at the moment. So it means the office hasn't reviewed it, but I've at least submitted it for review. By attaching it to the checklist, Julie then gets an email saying, Savannah attached a document to 123 Main Street. And there's a document for review. That way, it's the notification to her to go into the file and to take a look and to review the documents as well. There is another way to attach it just from this screen. Obviously, we have all of our attach buttons here. If I have my wire fraud in my documents tab, or even as a download on my computer, I'm able to click the attach button and it will then pull up another screen, which is the exact, sorry. It helps when when technology wants to work. It'll allow you to upload a document or attach it from your documents tab. Here we're able to upload it, or at the bottom, there would be a box right underneath the screen that has a list of all of the other documents that are in your documents tab that you have not assigned to a spot on the checklist yet.
Okay. A lot of ground covered, but I'm going to come back to where we started. 3 components: form, right? Find the appropriate forms. Make sure you got the library so you can populate your forms.
Yep.
Make use of templates. Makes your life easier, way easier, right? And I get it. We still owe you those 24, 48 hours as far as the office-based templates, and you customize them, add documents, save them out as your own. The second one is DigiSign. Almost a nothing burger if you're using templates, right? Because it will do the population of signatures and initials based on the office templates. Because what we do is we send our forms to Skyslope and say, drop in signatures here, drop in initials here based on what is in the transaction profile, right? So super easy. So if you follow those systems, almost you could ignore DigiSign. Notice I said almost, I think, not completely. And then the third one is cool. You did the first 2 steps, super helpful. But if you want it to flow through the office so that compliance is done, and which, believe it or not, is to your benefit. Compliance is to your benefit. And to make sure that the file is getting set up nicely for a closing. So when you get it over to Metro or right, whatever, and we actually have a closed transaction, you're not sitting there going, well, I thought I was going to get paid today. Well, yeah, you would have, but we didn't have a complete file, or it didn't get submitted, and it's attached to a checklist. So sounds like a lot, but actually when you get in the rhythm of doing this, it's super slick, super fast. Am I just making that up, Josh? He loves it. It's like that old commercial. Mikey, get Mikey. He'll eat it. He eats anything. So Savannah, thank you for walking through that. It's a lot of ground covered. And my last piece of advice to you would be, don't get off in the weeds. Get used to using the components we talked about today. If you then get comfortable to that level, then you can look at some of the other bells and whistles that you could weave in, but that is the lion's share. That is, the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle. 20% we showed you is going to cover 80% of what you need to do. Yes.
So what we have here that is recorded, how will the agents who are here get it and agents who are not here?
Yep.
How will we have access?
So the question was, for those that aren't here or who are sick or whatever, how do they get this training? We will save this out because Savannah recorded it, and we will have Aaron Menard upload it to the training mall.
Yep.
So you go to Remax of AZ, right? Is Arizona or AZ?
Arizona.
Remax of Arizona.com or .net. .net's the internal version. .com is our public facing site. So go to .net, and up the top there will be training vault. It'll take a day or 2 to get that over there, but you need to access this and go through because you need to go to sleep at night. Well, that's funny. It's a joke. Thank you. Thanks, Matt.
Hey, Matt.
I think I don't know what Erin and her team schedule is, but I would say by tomorrow for sure.
Matt, I just wanted to point out this screen really quick. So for anyone, if there are tips and tricks and just little things that you guys are like, oh, I know how to do that, but I just can't remember. Skyslope help or Skyslope support is honestly a lifesaver. All of their little clips are like less than 3 minutes. And you're able to scroll down. You can either search or it breaks it up by console. So you can, if you're looking for help in Skyslope forms, you'll click on this or DigiSign or the Skyslope console, and it will give you tutorials on how to create a buyer file, how to, send it out for signatures, how to do X, Y, and Z, how to create faster files. It gives you these training videos that will step you through everything. So I strongly suggest utilizing these just so whenever you need them, they're at, they're just on the internet ready to go. So whenever you guys need them, they're there to help. So.
Okay. Can you tell Savannah that we need a checklist?
Do we need to transfer our current files over?
Yes.
We need a new build checklist. Write that down.
Okay.
With, Brittany to get that done. Yes, if you have suggestions, I would say, first and foremost, funnel them through Janice and Jessica. They will, no, it's okay today. It's okay today. We're sitting right here, but we're not here all the time. So just get them and they will forward the information to us and we will get on it with Skyslope as quickly as possible. Yes.
Can they email it according to us?
It will be very large. And what happens when it's a large footprint? A lot of times the emails will gag on it and they'll reject it. That's why we put it up on our website. So as long as you go to remaxofarizona.net, go to the training vault, probably by tomorrow it'll be there. So be able to click on it and play it. Okay? But I really have to advocate what she just said, because when we took on Skyslope 5-6 years ago, I lived here for a while. I'm like, dang, we actually have some pretty good content. It wasn't even that good back then. It's way better today. And they really put a lot of thought to, here are the things that people are doing repetitively. Here's a quick 2-minute video to get you bump started.
Yep. So, but yeah, I'm always here to help as well. But these guys are so fast for those like just quick answer questions, or calling them as well if you need, a little bit more in-depth detail questions. So, yeah.
Thank you, Savannah.
Thanks, Matt.
Okay. All right. See ya.
Bye, guys.